Nicole Huntsman here from moderncosmic.com. We have got our sun sign compatibility here on this video. If you know what sun sign means, fast forward to the timestamp you see or the description of the video. So in Western astrology, we take the year, the 12 calendar months, okay, and we divide them up according to the Earth's relationship to the sun. And this makes sense if you think back in the day when we were farmers. The movement of the sun, it's actually our movement, the tilt of our Earth relative to the sun and how it affects the seasons was very important. Springtime, time to plant, summertime to take care of and tend the fields, and of course fall time to harvest, and then winter was time to preserve the things that you had stored and make them last till spring again. Now, in astrology, we look at these 4 important dates that are repeatable, they happen every year, and they are the spring equinox, the summer solstice, the fall equinox, and the winter solstice, okay? We have our zodiac signs all set up according to these solar events. In the springtime, when we have our spring equinox, March 21st, this is that time of year when the equator of the Earth is facing the sun, directly, and the Earth is level, so to speak. So, we are on an axis and the Earth tilts. At this point in the year, we're level. That's why you can spin an egg and it will spin. Now, that's the beginning of the zodiac year, and really should be the beginning of our year. It would make sense to have the time when we go from winter, where we have more darkness than light, to the time when it's equal. We have an equal amount of daylight and equal amount of darkness, and then we move into the time of the year, the spring, when we have more light and less darkness each day, okay, until we hit the summer solstice, where we have the most light, more light, and less of the darkness. So with the zodiac, your sun sign falls during a month between those 4 events. So your sun sign is going to fall into one of these segments, okay? We've got the 12 months divided up into 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, according to those solar events. And then in each of those sections, we have 3 zodiac signs, okay? Your sun sign is important in that it shows your general life force. If you think of the sun is the star in our solar system. It is the mass, the giant mass, relative to us anyway, that is holding our solar system together. Without the sun, without our star, we wouldn't be here, and if something happened to our sun, we would all die, we would perish. We eat food that's made from the energy of the sun. We are literally made of sun, which is pretty cool. Someone's sun sign shows you the basic premise upon which their personality is built. It's like a canvas that we're going to paint upon. It doesn't have any paint on it yet, it's just the canvas. Is it wood? Is it metal? Is it canvas? Is it a panel? Is it round? Is it square? How big is it? How little is it? The zodiac sign will sort of illuminate, and it will explain and make granular sort of this very basic part of what we have to work with, okay, with the personality. So it's the first step in building, when you're looking at an astrology birth chart, it's the first thing you look at because you're going to build upon it, all right? And then all the brushstrokes come with the moon and all the angular houses and the planets and the aspects between the planets. That's when it becomes a beautiful picture. But until then, it's just you're one of the 12 zodiac signs. This is very general. Sun signs are general. It's a general vibe. You've got someone who's kind of more of a feeler, someone who's more of a thinker. But there are all different types of feelers and there are all different types of thinkers, okay? We get that granularity by looking at the entire birth chart and by putting the 2 people together, okay? You can have a feeler and a thinker get together and be really happy if they've got other things in their birth chart that make nice compatibility interaspects. If for some reason your sun signs don't get along well, let's say we've got someone who is, let's say we've got a Capricorn and an Aquarius, very different energies. Capricorn's conservative, Aquarius is an iconoclast and does their own thing. On the surface, sun sign wise, these 2 aren't going to jive perfectly. But if you look underneath, maybe they have moons that are both in water, and it gives them an emotional warmth, or it gives them an emotional depth to the cooler Capricorn Aquarius facade. There's another thing you want to look at between your compatibility charts. There are several, but another important primary planetary aspect that you want to look at, or planetary placement, I should say, that you want to look at. And I'm going to talk about this at the end of the video, so stay tuned, watch the compatibility, and at the very end I'll explain to you how to find If your sun compatibility isn't great, there's another thing you can look at that will indicate whether or not the two of you are going to have long-lasting happiness together, or if it's going to be sort of a no-win battle, okay? All right, let's get on to our sun signs, and please leave me comments if you have questions, and this is going to be a lot of fun. Taurus are the individuals born April 20th through May 20th. Now, this is the time of year, if you were to imagine we're back 2,000 years and we're farming, this is the time of year we would be planting. We'd be planting our seeds, at least here in the northern hemisphere, which is where this type of astrology comes from, Western astrology. Taurus is all about the possession. It's all about the five senses of our physical bodies and operating through this physical these three dimensions that we are here in. So Taurus, ruled by Venus, has to do with the sensual pleasures of the body, but also this idea that we can, as individual protagonists in our own story, possess things. So this is our money, this is our physical possessions, and this is also things more abstract, I suppose. Our self-esteem and our talents, the things that we possess inside of ourselves. Taurus sun signs are slower moving, predictable. They like things to unfold in a way where they know what to expect. And if you think about a farm and you think about planting seeds, you do them if you want to be productive with your farm. You plant them in rows and you do them a certain amount of space between each other, and you water them regularly, and there's a consistency there, okay? There's a routine and an earthy sort of habit that is followed in order to be productive. Have a concrete, practical way of thinking, or way of being rather, because this is a sun sign. With a Taurus, you do have someone who's somewhat stubborn. They have in their mind a plan for how they'd like things to unfold, and they'll get there when they're going to get there, and you can't push them and prod them, okay? Now also, Taurus being ruled by Venus, these individuals appreciate nice things. A lot of times someone who has strong Taurus in their chart, they either like luxury items, they're highly motivated by working hard and making money, or they enjoy the arts, music, whether it's creating it or just listening to it and enjoying it and being a patron of the arts and music. These are very Taurus, and Taurus loves food. Again, and sex. This is the body, being in a body, having a spirit in this human form where we get to experience the pleasures of what comes with this body. On the high side with Taurus, we have steadfast, loyal, determined, artistic, usually. Sometimes they're not artistic. Sometimes it comes out in other ways, like it comes out in the enjoyment of the arts or the enjoyment of food and these things I've talked about before, the five senses. They are understanding and affectionate. They're calm. They like peace and harmony in their relationships. Okay, this is Venusian. They're practical, sensual, passionate people. Their passion is different than the Aries passion. The passion of a Taurus is more slower moving and sensual, and it's more consistent. You know, Aries, the sign we did earlier, would just kind of flare up, whereas Taurus is going to come out slowly and sensually. Now, on the shadow side, or if you've got a low-functioning Taurus, you can have someone who's stubborn, who's materialistic, who's hedonistic. They are focused way too much on the outside and not on the inside. There's an unmovable nature to a shadow, low-functioning Taurus. They can be possessive, afraid of change. They have a really strong need for security, and so they're afraid to sort of break out from situations they know aren't best for them. So they can overstay bad relationships or bad situations at work, or just life situations, just be in the same career for years that they don't like, but it's the devil you know is safer than the devil you don't know. And they can be a little lazy and a little vain. That's our Venus. Now this is low functioning. Taurus in love. Taurus appreciates beauty, all right? Taurus sun signs, whether it's male or female, whatever their personal idea of beauty is, they will have, it's going to be high on their list of things that will matter to them. They need to be physically attracted to their partner. They are quite lusty and sensual, the sun sign. Once they have gotten to know someone, once they've decided that this is the one for them, they're affectionate, and the way they show their love is through they do enjoy giving their partner gifts, sharing things with them, but also really affection and sex. There's a possessiveness to a Taurus. They're on the axis of possession with a Scorpio as well. So they can at times be a little bit possessive, and they need to know that their partner is theirs. So they can have some issues with security and needing to feel safe and secure. Taurus expectations in love. Taurus types, Taurus sun signs, they're looking for security, and they're looking for a relationship that is grounded in reality. They wouldn't really be stoked about a relationship that was like based on the internet, you know, like a long distance relationship, unless you had a Taurus with a ton of Aquarius in their chart, and that's a whole other story. But for the most part, Taurus, pure Taurus sun sign, they like to have you there in their presence. They want someone to build a life with. They want harmony. They want to enjoy the daily pleasures with their partner. They like good food. They like a nice regular sex life. They like to dance in the kitchen while they're cooking dinner together. They just want simple, authentic, real love. Okay, that's their expectations, and they expect loyalty. So you give that to them, and you have got a happy bull. Now, Taurus's biggest fear, they worry about security. This is why you've got a sun sign that's so focused on making money or proving themselves through their ability to be successful or have control over their ability to create income. That's why it's underneath it is an insecurity, a worry that they will be without. So this includes the partner. They do have a fear of their partner leaving them. And so they need a partner that is consistent, steady, does what they say they're going to do, shows up when they're supposed to, and is reliable. Ultimately, that will put their heart at ease and keep them happy and harmonious. So Taurus and Taurus. With these two, you've got two people who are earthy. They like their food. They like their pleasures of life. They enjoy just the simple little acts of romance. So you put two Tauruses together, and you've got a couple that they could be hedonists, or, you know, two people who understand how to enjoy the finer things in life. Now, something you're going to run into with Taurus and Taurus combination is, of course, these two can be both a little stubborn. They're both pretty fixed in their attitudes. So if the partner is someone who's not flexible, then you can run into problems. Now, also Taurus, you know, these are two people who they can overdo things sometimes. So when you have two Tauruses together, there's not really anyone there to stop you from, you know, overeating or overdoing the pleasures. Now, also, sometimes with Taurus, there's a tendency to get stuck or to be, because they're a fixed sign, they'll get sort of stuck in a position, whether it is a relationship or a job or, you know, living in a neighborhood after it's kind of gone to pot, and they just sort of stay there. You know, these are all Taurus tendencies. And so you don't have that other person to sort of be the check and balance to your tendency to sort of stay the course, which can be a good thing if you guys are on the right track. But if you're on the wrong track, it can be problematic. So overall, I like Taurus and Taurus together. They may lack a little bit of oomph to kind of change and switch things up. It might get a little stagnant with this combination, but it could make for a harmonious, happy, long-term coupling if it's what both couples want, or both partners want. If they both want just the consistency and the regularity, then this could be perfect.